Unrejectable. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this idea of like hand delivering my resume and cover letter to my dream jobs. And so I ended up doing that for MrBeast. I don't know, do you know who MrBeast is?
Yeah, of course. Everyone knows who MrBeast is.
Okay, yeah. And I flew to North Carolina. I hand delivered my cover letter resume and ended up getting a job with MrBeast over junior summer.
You are listening to My Rejection Story, hosted by Alice Draper. Hello, and welcome back to My Rejection Story. Today, I am joined by Jude Sack, and I discovered him through an Instagram reel about David Dobrik. Really cool. Jude is interesting. He is the magician of Yale, so at the age of 5, he was performing in New York Central Park doing magic tricks. He recently went and ambushed David Dobrik in an airport and asked him for a job interview. I think you've got a lot else going on. You're studying cooking in Madrid. You come from America. I would love you to give us a little bit of an introduction because I'm sure there's a lot I'm missing here.
Yeah, no, it's kind of hard to give an introduction. I have a lot of disparate interests. Just graduated Yale, was a major in cognitive neuroscience, have been doing magic since I was like 4 years old. And just ever since I was a child, was obsessed with kind of delivering delight and capturing attention, be it magic, be it being an ice cream man, be it cooking. And I've just kind of been someone who pursues my passions kind of like 100% as they arise. I'm happy to get into any of those in more detail, but very many different interests.
I didn't know what you studied at Yale, so that's very interesting. And I love the framing of capturing intrigue, attention, magic through your creations, because that's exactly the feeling that I got when I stumbled across your content on Instagram. So I know that I led with the fact that you ambushed David Dobrik in an airport and asked him for a job interview. And I just love how you did that. I won't describe it. I'm actually going to play it here. So if you don't mind, Jude, can we take a look?
No, please. Yeah.
Hi, David. Hey. I want to get a job interview. So here's the deal. If I do a magic trick and fool you, then I get a job interview. On January 13th, David Dobrik records a podcast. On January 14th, I listen to this podcast and hear that he's coming to Madrid on the 15th and leaving back for America on the 18th. This means that I have 3 days to find David Dobrik and convince him to hire me for my dream job. This is unrejectable. I've been a fan of David Dobrik since I was 14. 1 year, I even dressed up as him for Halloween. So when I heard he was coming to Madrid, I went all in. I DM'd him, scoured the streets of Madrid, reverse engineered his flights, waited at the airport for hours, and even staked out Madrid's most popular hotels. It's Sunday, and I have not found David Dobrik, and I'm feeling pretty hopeless, honestly. It's my dream, so I don't even really know what it means quitting. Yeah, my last idea is just stake out the airport. There's no chance of that stuff. Oh my god, I see him. I'm freaking out. My heart is pounding. Holy cow. Hi, David.
Hey.
I want to get a job interview. So here's the deal. If I do a magic trick and fool you, then I get a job interview. Wow, my hand is shaking. I'm freaking out, David.
Well, you're gonna mess this magic trick up then.
I'm still sleight of hand master.
Show me.
Yeah?
But if I know.
If you know, then you can tell me, you can challenge me to do anything. I don't care.
Okay.
Will you film me because I'm shaking?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. In my wallet, I have one black envelope with one card in it. Okay?
One black envelope, one card.
David,
yes.
In a deck of cards are face cards, number cards. You choose. Face cards, number cards.
Face.
Face cards. Face cards. There's jacks, queens, kings. You choose.
Jack.
Jacks.
Yeah.
Jacks. We have red jacks, black jacks. You choose.
Red jack.
Red jack.
Yeah.
Red jack. Diamond heart. You choose.
Heart.
Jack of hearts.
Jack of hearts, red.
Are you sure?
Yes. Come on, you.
David, I told you, in my wallet, I carry one black envelope with one card in it. You said the Jack of Hearts?
Yeah.
One card.
Shut the
Jack of hearts.
Shut the
David Dobrik, do I have a job interview?
Okay, fine.
Yes!
That's impressive. Oh my god.
Wow, I'm tweaking, dude.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'll give you Natalie's number.
Okay, I'm tweaking, dude.
That doesn't mean that you're
No,
tired. You're
no, just a job interview.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna blow you away. Let's go. This is my childhood dream coming true. Like, this is why you put yourself out there. This is why you work hard, right? Like, it's scary. Maybe he could have reacted badly, but he didn't. I don't have a job, but one step closer. Follow me for my journey.
I love it so much. Oh my gosh, the ending there where you're like shaking, visibly shaking, and you did the thing. It's just, I love it because I think so many people, most of us don't do the thing. The brain is built to survive, not thrive. And so doing it is terrifying and scary. And I could see
So
in the
terrifying.
video that you were so scared. What was happening like 30 seconds before you approached David Dobrik once you found him in the airport?
My goodness. I mean, okay, like it's funny. So like it was a weekend long adventure trying to find David Dobrik. And like, I'll say that, I mean, I have a video that I didn't include in that video. I took a lot of videos like throughout my journey. And like, I have this like monologue of me talking about how emotionally exhausting it is to put yourself out there, because what you're doing when you're like facing rejection is like you're putting yourself in a place where like all of your like neurochemicals, all the dopamine is kind of pumping through your body, and you are in survival mode. And so it's just exhausting. So I was just like, that was the last leg of the trip. I had gone to the airport first. My heart was freaking out. I didn't see him. I was disappointed. I'd like gone to all of the different hotels. I hadn't seen him. I was disappointed. And then I finally get to the airport and I'm just like, dude, there's no chance he's just not going to be here. And like, I was just exhausted. And then I see his orange suitcase and I was like, oh my God, that's definitely David Dobrik's bag. And then I saw David Dobrik and I was like, oh my God, that's David Dobrik. And I got super excited. And then my heart just started pounding. And and it's like in that moment where it's like, okay, like now you're like trying to make all of the decisions. Cause like you don't want to approach him too abruptly, because I think this is the one thing that like is a big misconception on like what it means to like chase your dreams and goals is like, the world doesn't always bend to your will, right? But the goal is that you want to be able to go to bed knowing that you tried your hardest. So like it's a different level of like me harassing David Dobrik, not fun, not cool, doesn't help me get my goals. But me doing everything I can to put my dreams out there, at least just out there. He could have said no. If he said no, I don't want to see a magic trick, I would have been like, hey dude, have a good one. And I would have walked away. Like, I'm not going to just like push my agenda on him. But like, so in those moments when like I see David Dobrik and I'm like, oh my God, like I have to like talk to him. Like I'm trying to like calculate everything so that I don't make him too uncomfortable, that I start off strong and sound confident, because I don't want to sound like, oh my God, I'm so scared. And I'm also thinking about how to get a good video of it, to be honest. So I'm just like thinking about so many different things, and my heart is pounding and my hands are super clammy, which is not good because I don't want to shake his hand, because like I'm like, that will be embarrassing. So it's just like a lot in your head of like all of these like different stimuli coming in, all these different thoughts, and you trying to basically stay calm and be like, okay, like just go in with confidence. And once you start talking, then it's like much easier. It's just that like, it's like the 3 seconds before you start talking. Once you're in conversation, it's like fine.
You're improvising. You're 100% improvising.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I've done a lot of these different types of like kind of like rejection experiences, which we can talk about. And it's always the first 3 seconds that are the scariest. But if you just count down 3, 2, 1, I'm doing it, then you're in it and then it's okay. It's just like the brain block.
Yeah. I completely agree. There was a famous person that I met at an event. She came up to me and I didn't capitalize on the opportunity. I didn't ask her like, if I could get her number or anything. And I saw her years later, and it's exactly what you're describing. There was a 3 seconds where I was like, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
And then kind of, okay, talk to her, improvising, it's going. But that getting through that brain
Did
block.
you get her number?
Yes, I did.
Good job. Well done.
Well, we're all dying to know, did you get the job interview? I mean, he agreed to it on video, and what happened?
I'm actually in LA right now. I'm in LA right now and I haven't had the job interview. I was finishing up cooking school in Madrid and yeah, I'm in LA right now and hopefully meeting with them like low key next week. So I don't have an answer for that, but I'm like much closer than I ever would have imagined.
That is
So yeah,
insane.
very exciting. Everyone is so everyone wants to know. Like everyone immediately was like, "Oh my god! Like, did you get the job interview? Did you get the job interview?" And I'm like, yeah, I have." Like, he promised me a job interview, and David, he does follow through on his word. Like that is one thing that I do feel like he's really good at doing. And so yeah, it's happening. I just crazy that, but I don't have an update if I have a job yet or not.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you've got even that. You got the job interview. Okay, my God, that's so exciting. Good luck
yeah,
for next
very
week.
exciting. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'll keep you guys
Fingers
updated.
crossed. Yeah. Okay. And you have, as you said, been doing these kind of rejection experiments a lot. And I know on your website you said that you've been doing magic tricks and you were doing
Uh,
magic tricks in Central Park at 5 years old. So what got you started on this path of
uh,
being
good
unrejectable?
question. I don't know. I mean, like, I think it's a lot. Like, so I've been doing magic professionally since I was basically like 4 or 5 years old. So like early on, I kind of just learned how to like go up to crowds and like just interject and just be like, "Hey, do you want to see a magic trick?" Like I was hired for this event, and a lot of people say no, I don't want to see a magic trick, and that's okay. Like I don't take that personally. And so there was like that muscle was already kind of trained, and then I went to college, and there were a few different things that kind of all collided. Um, Honestly, one thing was I got really frustrated with dating apps. And I was like, I hate dating apps. I think they're so stupid. And I'm just going to train myself to like go up to girls who I have like a little crush on and be like, "Hey, I think you're really pretty. Can I get your number?" Because like that's the type of world I want to live in, is like where I can go up to people and say, "Hey, I think you're pretty." And tried to do it the first time and I was absolutely terrified. Like genuinely talk about like way more terrified than the David Dobrik situation. Like it's just like the worst thing ever because your mind just starts like ruminating on all of the worst case possible scenarios. Maybe she's gonna think I'm a creep. Maybe I'm part of the problem of like heterosexual dudes making girls feel uncomfortable. Like just like every issue of like, oh my God, like everything. And I was like, well, this means that I'm doing something right. Like those fears mean that I'm doing something right. And so I kind of like was like, okay, I'm gonna train this muscle. And so like for like a year, I asked a girl who I thought was pretty for her number once a week. And it was so hard. It was so hard. But I realized, oh yeah, like, and if she doesn't want to give me your number, I'm like, okay, of course. Yeah. Have a great day. If she has a boyfriend, of course she has a boyfriend. Like whatever it is, like I just started like learning, okay, like the rejection isn't that bad. The rejection is actually nice. Like it's a moment rejection is still a moment of contact. It's still a moment of human connection. And so like, it's way worse to just reject yourself and be alone with that rejection than like put yourself out there, be known, and then be like rejected. And it's like, okay, well, at least I did everything I can do to like see if someone wants to connect with me in any capacity, be it a job, in a romantic situation, or like even a podcast. And then the summer of junior year came and I didn't have an internship. And I was like, well, I had this concept of unrejectable. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do this idea of like hand delivering my resume and cover letter to my dream jobs. And so I ended up doing that for MrBeast. I don't know. Do you know who MrBeast is?
Yeah, of course. Everyone knows who
Yeah.
MrBeast is.
Okay. Yeah. And I flew to North Carolina. I hand delivered my cover letter resume and ended up getting a job with MrBeast over junior summer. And it was like the best summer ever. It was the best job ever. Like it was fantastic. So much fun. And it was really like, yeah, it was just really a function of me being like, hey, I want this. And I'm okay being rejected, but I'm not okay being ghosted. That's really what it comes to is like, it is always better to be rejected than it is to be ghosted. That's the life. And those are the two options we have in this world. And in the digital world, it's so easy to ghost people. Like I ghost people, you probably ghost people. Like it's so easy to do it. And I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like that is the function of what we're living in right now. I think that's not acknowledging someone's presence is worse than acknowledging it and being like, you know what? I don't want to deal with you right now. So I'd rather be just rejected. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's so many directions I want to get in. Not getting ghosted and getting rejected. is, as you said, it's so easy to ghost, but it sounds
Mhm.
like a part of your strategy is to get really creative, just like we saw the David Dobrik video, to not get ghosted. So you have to go to like some pretty extreme lengths, like going and hand delivering your resume and cover letter to MrBeast office. Well, tell me about that. Like, tell me about the creativity that goes into not getting ghosted.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like that is the relating, like that's the part that relates to magic. It's kind of just how my brain works, but it's like, how do you capture attention? Like that's really what it is, right? It's like we all have so much going on in our lives. I have so much going on. You have so much going on. Like if someone just emails me, hey, can I get a job? Maybe if I really needed someone to do that exact job, but like otherwise I'm deleting that email. Like I'd have no face to put to the name. I have no interest in like, it's just so easy to like separate a human person from like an email or cold outreach or something. So it's like, how do you capture attention? And that's like kind of always what I've been somewhat studying, be it MrBeast or magic or ice cream. Like, it's just like, how do you get people looking and paying attention and being interested? And so my brain is kind of just wired that way of like how, like thinking about it. Like it doesn't require that much effort for me to think about like how to like create a spectacle. But then it's like, okay, like for MrBeast, it's like there are probably so many people that want to work for MrBeast. Okay, but who's going to actually just show up in the office? And I'm not condoning this. And like I had already conversations with MrBeast and his team, and then they ghosted me. So like it wasn't like like a random stranger who walked in out of like I had connections to some extent, but they were ghosting me, and I didn't have a summer internship, right? So like there's a level of just like putting yourself out there. And I think that's the piece that's so interesting is like, I think our society has like misunderstood. Like, yes, I go to some crazy creative links, like trying to find David Dobrik and stuff, but I don't think that that's like all that you have to do. Like, I don't think that that is necessarily the message I'm trying to tell people with my story. I think that is how I do it because that's how I just look at the world, and I'm like so determined and motivated to like get to my goals and like put myself out there that I'm willing to do crazy things. But the point is that it's enough to just put yourself out there. Like, I don't think you need to like hunt down your favorite person and ask for a job. You can if that's what you want to do, if you're respectful. But like the point is like, even if it's like the girl that you go to class with and you have a crush on her, like you don't have to be super creative. Being creative, like just being vulnerable is being creative these days because no one is being vulnerable. I think that's the point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like David did not know anything about what I had done, the efforts I had gone to reach him. And he still said yes to the job interview and to the magic trick. And it didn't matter. The context of my crazy hard work did not matter to him. That's just for me and how crazy I am. What mattered to him is that I was this kid putting myself out there and asking, hey, take a chance on me. And that's the part that resonates with people. That's the thing that people are more likely to say yes to.
Was going to just ask, and I'm glad you touched on it, the vulnerability piece, because I think that like you putting yourself in a position where you have to overtly be rejected, which yes, you go through some pretty creative lengths to do so, but you are ultimately often in front of the person, like the girl whose number you're asking for, and whatever the situation is, you're in that situation where the person can overtly reject you, and not in a passive way, not in like okay, I'm just not going to reply to your message on a dating app, or I'm just not going to respond to your cover letter that you sent to me over email. I think that, I mean, I know this, like, as someone that lives in this world, it's so much easier to deal with the passive rejections, the
It's
rejections
so much
where,
easier.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Were you born with a thick skin that you were able to withstand these real life rejections, or is this a muscle that you built?
It's definitely a muscle I built. Definitely a muscle I built. In the same way that like yeah, 100% a muscle I built. There's no question. But I think that the one thing I'll challenge you on is that it definitely is easier to do the passive, like, oh, okay, I'm going to get like just ghosted, or I'm going to like send an email in and not be like too vulnerable. But I don't think it feels better. Like there's a lot of like things we do that are easier, right? Like there's like eating fast food is easier than cooking a home cooked meal, but it never feels better than doing the hard work and eating a home cooked meal. Like there's an aspect of just like sometimes putting yourself in the hard position actually feels better. And so like, and yet our brain, we're so trained not to do that. And we're so scared to do that we don't actually know that it feels better. Like that's the thing. Like the reason it's a muscle is you have to go do the hard work, put yourself in the uncomfortable positions to then start realizing, oh, it does feel better. And so like I have this fun game that I played with my friends. We have Rejection Night. And it's all
tell me
about building the muscle of rejection. And it doesn't have to be like you chasing your dream job. It can be like, yo, get a high five from a stranger. And so we basically just go around and everyone give each other challenges and we spend the night just like doing rejections. So like one night I got wheelbarrowed across a bar. I had to find a stranger to wheelbarrow me across the bar, like on my hands. And it's like such a stupid thing, but I start like asking a lot of people and getting rejected by a lot of people. And you're like, oh, the rejections just don't hurt. Like people just don't want to participate, but I don't take them personally. Like if someone came up to me and said, hey, will you wheelbarrow me across the bar? I probably would also say no. And it's okay. You're just looking for the person that will say yes. And so like doing small things, asking a stranger for a high five, these are like small ways that you can just train yourself to realize that it's always better to be rejected and ask for what you want than not. And it feels good to do it. So it's just about rewiring the system, because I do think it's easier not to get rejected, but it never feels better. It never feels better.
I completely agree. So I know you're challenging me,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
do.
No, I
as
know. I
someone-
know your whole podcast is about this.
In situations where I have been rejected because I put myself out there. And also I'd say like a caveat to that is putting yourself out there with integrity. So knowing that like I put myself out there for something I care about and I went about it in a way that was super aligned with me and my values, and then getting that rejection on the other end feels better than either not doing it, so just not taking action, or doing it in a really passive way and it's just like, okay, it's ghosted, or like the opportunity didn't come through, or whatever it is. But as you said, I think that exposure therapy piece is so big, which is our brains are so hardwired to not do that because we want to survive. We don't want to thrive. We don't want to be like out there and take risks, and that we just kind of have to override that behavior. And an episode I did a few weeks ago, Anne-Laure Lecunff, she's a neuroscientist. She talks about this, literally just the brain's wiring being set for that survival, and we have to rewire it in order to take it to that next level.
Something interesting that I remember still, it's probably one of my favorite facts from my neuroscience classes, was that social pain, so like getting rejected or being excluded, it activates the insula, which is the same part of your brain that is activated during physical pain. And so we really, like when you're getting rejected or when you're scared of that, we really don't have the capacity to be able to differentiate the difference between like burning yourself badly and literally being like, oh no, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like for some reason, code those as the same pains. And in fact, and I'm not condoning this, but I sometimes do this. If you take Advil before getting rejected, this is where my neuroscience, like I don't know the exact neurotransmitters that like bind to the receptors, but like it does the same thing as when if you stub your toe and you take Advil, it decreases the pain. It actually decreases the pain of rejection. So if you like really going for your dream job, I didn't take Advil before I met David Dobrik, but I might have, because if he had rejected me, it would have.
If you're telling like the girl you really like that you love her,
I have
take Advil before.
done that once. I have taken Advil before I told the girl that I liked her. Yeah, I really liked this girl. Yeah, it was a big crush, but
I love that. I've read those same studies, and I'll link them in the show notes if anyone's interested in looking. But he's 100% right. Like that is true.
Crazy.
Did it get easier when you were telling girls that they're pretty every week? I think you said every week, and you said you were terrified. Yeah. Did it get easier with time?
It got easier. Yeah, it got much easier, because it's like you realize that like the responses are like, okay, I mean, the caveat in all of this is that there's a level, and I think you said this, with integrity. Like there's a level of like doing this with integrity, doing this without being disrespectful to the people, right? So like the reason I like rejection is that rejection means being able to hear no, right? It doesn't mean like keep pushing, right? So like with David Dobrik, if he had said no, I would have walked away. And so with girls, if you go up to them and I was like gentlemanly, whatever. I don't know what the word is. I was polite and I went up to them and like, I would be like, hey, I think you're really pretty. And like, I was wondering if I could get your number. And there would be a lot of times where they'd be like, oh no, I'm sorry. Or sometimes they'd be like, oh no, I have a boyfriend. And you just like, those are the two responses of no. No one was ever like, no, get away from me. It was just like, those were the two responses. And I was like, oh, like if they have a boyfriend or they were lying about having a boyfriend, great. Like that's an easy out for both of us. And if they just say no, okay, there's plenty of reasons that like, there's plenty of times where I would say no, just because maybe I was just not interested in the moment. So you just like, I think the thing is that because we don't practice rejection, we take rejection so personally. But if you practice it, like, it's just so much like, it's never about you. It just never is. Like people have other things in their life. People are focused on, like, it just doesn't, we're so egocentric that like we somehow make rejection about us, but it never is about us. And my last thought on this actually is that I was in an incredible class senior year of college called Mastering Influence and Persuasion. Shout out Professor Zoe Chance. It was an incredible class and her work is incredible. She wrote this incredible book. And one of our homework assignments was a rejection challenge where we had to get rejected. That was the homework. And I tried getting rejected and it was so hard to get rejected. That's the thing you start realizing is that like, I mean, I asked a coffee like store for a free coffee and they just gave me a free coffee. I asked an ice cream store to try all 31 flavors and they let me try all 31 flavors. Like, we just don't, our brains just don't have the capacity to understand that most people want to say yes. Most people want to engage with you. But we're just so trained not to that we just say no to ourselves before others say no to us, which is sad.
And so little data. And I love that assignment. I started my career by setting a rejection goal for writing. And the thing is I did get rejected. Like I got rejected a shit ton. But a big part of that was data collection because tracking the rejections and seeing like, okay, there's always saying no to these sorts of ideas. Sometimes I say yes to these ideas. Sometimes I say maybe to these ideas. Like I need to do more of that and less of this. If we don't put ourselves in that space of getting rejected, we're not collecting that data. Or like you're just charming enough that you can like get all the yeses for, you find that the world is a lot more receptive than I guess like you thought it was. I'm curious the role community plays because I am a big like proponent that like the big reason why rejection is so scary is that we're kind of hardwired to think that that's going to mean that we are not going to have that kind of tribal communal support anymore. If it was like 100 years ago, we might die if we are isolated. You sound like you do like a rejection challenge with friends. How big of a role have like other people played in your rejection resilience? Are you doing it alone or with people?
I would say I do it alone. Like, honestly, I feel like I'm a preacher of it. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm very much the person, like I'm convincing my friends to play with me. And then once they play with me, they're like, they love it and they're down. But I'm always like the person that's like, oh, like you have a dream job. Like, let's help you figure out how to get that dream job in a creative way. Like I want my friends to put themselves out there. So I would say that I'm definitely like a driving force of this. And it's hard because it's like, well, okay, my mom, I'll give a shout out to my mom. So many shout outs to my mom. But my mom is definitely a big influence in this. She has a similar kind of just like, I remember when I was like probably in 8th grade, I went to see David Blaine live. And she was like, you should just like ask to tour with him. And I was like, no, mom, I can't ask to tour with David Blaine. And she was like, no, just like email him every year, like, and just be like, hey, David, this is Jude. I'm still a magician and I still want to tour with you, and just keep emailing, because she did something similar. And like a lot of different opportunities opened up for her just by being persistent, being polite, and just saying that, like, basically facing rejection. And I never actually ended up sending those emails to David Blaine, and I'm disappointed I never did, because that would have been awesome. But like early on in my childhood, that kind of like mindset of like, just like put yourself out there, and like, it's okay if he says no or she says no or whatever, like that kind of has been instilled in me. But no, it's definitely been a, generally speaking, like solitary, like driving force. Like Yeah, I would say probably mostly myself is the one who's like pushing forward. But I want more people to
Watching
join me, so please.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thank you for sharing the story of your mom, and I think a great role model to have, and probably has maybe changed the trajectory of your life. But when I'm watching your Instagram videos, it seems like there are people around you. So you're the one that's like setting the trend, and then you are getting people to like join in. Is that like I'm curious, just it doesn't seem like you don't have friends. That's just not the
No,
sense
I
that
have
I
friends.
got
No,
from what
yeah,
I'm
no, I
getting.
definitely have incredible friends. Oh my god, no, I feel I haven't been ousted by my community. If that's the question, no, I have incredible community. I think that a lot of my friends are like, "What are you doing, dude?"
Yeah.
Like it's like, and they think it's awesome. Like I think like especially what's interesting about rejection is like rejection, and it's like, okay, what is this kid doing? And then when you get accepted, like when you have like a David Dobrik type of video, it's like, oh my god, like congrats, and everyone's so excited, right? So it's like, but no, I have incredible friends, and they were definitely supportive of me. I don't know if they're necessarily doing this. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
convince them to do this. I'm still horrified that most of my male peers don't go up and like they're still swiping on dating apps instead of like actually talking to people they have crushes on. Like I'm pushing forward for like specific kind of goals like that. But so yeah, I have friends, but I don't think they practice the same
Yeah.
rejection as I do. But I'm always pushing for that. Does that make sense? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
I don't know why I haven't been ousted more from my community, to be honest, but I'm happy that I have it.
I think that like the threats versus the reality are so different, and so having built that muscle and
Mhm.
seeing the results within your community, like once you kind of just like you've broken through with those first rejections, once you kind of break through that fear and you can see that like, okay, this is not getting me ousted from the community, but maybe actually making it easier to build a community because I'm meeting more people.
Yeah. And like, I also think there's a part of like, it's like, we're also scared of it, but we also all want to do it. Like, there's a reason that Instagram video like resonated with so many people. And it's not just because I did a cool magic trick or that it was just David Dobrik. Those definitely helped. But it was like that, like, we all have goals and dreams that we want to pursue and we're just scared. And so when you do it or when like it is inspiring to people. And that's the coolest thing. Like I had a lot of people reach out after I posted that video and be like, oh my God, like both supporting me, but also being like, oh my God, you just encouraged me to like go pursue my dream. So like you do both build new community and also like you inspire your friends to go do that. And it's like so cool that like that is the mark I want to have on this world. The reason I'm on this podcast, the reason I want to keep talking about this like story is not to just be like, oh, I met David Dobrik and did a magic trick for him. It's to like encourage people to like go do their small version of that because it feels so liberating. And like that is what being human should feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. If someone listening has their own David Dobrik idea, in whatever shape or form, what do you think are some of the reasons why they haven't executed it, if they haven't?
Like just like all of, I mean, it's hard because it's like the reason is because you probably are thinking about all of the things that could go wrong. And we're really bad at actually like quantifying how many thoughts we have. And if you write down on a piece of paper every single thing that could go wrong, and like the worst case scenarios, there are probably a lot far fewer worst case scenarios than what we have in our brains. Like our brains are really good at like catastrophizing. And that's it. It's just like these like narratives that most likely none of them would actually happen. And yet we just tell ourselves narratives like, oh my God, he's going to say no. And I'm going to look like an idiot. I'm going to mess up my magic trick. Um, People are going to laugh at me. Like his security is going to beat me up. Like all of these things. And it's just like, okay, is the security really going to beat you up if David says no and you walk away? No. If you mess up the magic trick, it'll be embarrassing. But like, is that going to be like, is that the reason to stop, not go to find David Dobrik? Like, and that's kind of all of the reasons. I've listed the 5 reasons, but in my head, it's like so many more. So it's just like human brains catastrophizing scenarios that rarely play out as we think they do. Um,
Yeah, I completely agree. Like what I also think have found with myself, and I think many other people I've spoken to have agreed that once you kind of even look at those worst case scenarios, it's like actually if they happen, I can survive it.
No.
Like I'll
Yeah.
be okay. Like even if like worst, like whatever David Dobrik says, you suck, get away from me. Like I could survive that and be like, okay, maybe you weren't the person I thought you were, and like I
Yeah.
misjudged you and I misjudged the situation, but I it's not as bad as kind of when it's just this unfiltered noise in the background that I haven't articulated.
It's interesting. I'll give you a story of when I was really rejected. So before I went to do MrBeast, I went to this creative consultancy. I'll give them a shout out on IDEO, which was like a really cool creative consultancy I wanted to work for. And I was like doing the same thing. I was like, okay, I'm going to hand deliver my resume and cover letter. I'm going to and I showed up. I met with the CEO the first day, which was awesome, crazy. Told him my story. Second day, brought in coffee for the receptionists and was like, I'm here to meet the next person, and like just kept pushing. And then like the second or third day I showed up, the receptionist was like, hey kid, like this is not how the world works and you need to leave. And
Like
I was like,
I can feel that my body.
like I was so, and I was on such a good trajectory. Like I met with the CEO, like I felt so confident, and it was like really heartbreaking. Like honestly, like it was like, damn, like this is what I wanted, and I'm being truly myself, and they really don't like me. Like that's honestly and it sucked. And I walked out, and for some reason, I wasn't that sad. I was just kind of like, I was hurt, definitely, but I was also like, okay, well, like I don't want to work there.
Yeah.
Like more than anything, I learned that like I don't want to be in a place where when I come up with my creative solutions and put myself out there, I get shut down like that. Like that's just not the place I want. So like I think that like that genuinely was like it hurt, but then I was like, okay, like at least I'm not chasing a job that I wouldn't be happy in, honestly. And so then I went to MrBeast and did it, and I got it, and I was much happier there. So like, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's not. I think that like the thing about rejection is like, of course it hurts. It hurts a lot because it's the same exact thing as pain. It's just like I think I'd rather be in pain than live with this like short-term pain than live with this like forever regret of not doing something and always wondering. Like long-term pain sounds much worse than just short-term pain of just being rejected. I think that's and when I had that
Absolutely.
unlock, I was like, oh dang, it's kind
Yeah.
of a superpower
Yeah.
to realize that.
And for anyone listening, they should look up the regrets minimization framework, which is essentially what you're saying. Like when you are faced with that fear of rejection, just a really easy question to ask yourself is, what will I regret more, not doing this or
Hmm.
doing it and getting rejected? Often, at least for me, I'd rather be rejected than have to look back with the like what ifs looking back in life. For Jude, for anyone listening, who is like frozen by fear of their first big ask. So they haven't built this muscle in the way you built it. What is a small and rejectable move you would
Yes, I
like to
love
try
this.
this week?
Oh, it's such a good question. I mean, it's so fun because when you start practicing the muscle, the world literally opens up. So, like, when you go out, like, if I said go outside and like get rejected by a stranger, you're like, you kind of usually freeze and you're like, what? So, I'll start and just be like, either start with getting a high five from a stranger. That is literally such an easy thing. And there'll be a lot of people that don't want to give you a high five, and that's okay, but someone will give you a high five. So, start with getting a high five from a stranger and then work up to playing rock, paper, scissors with a stranger. That's like the next step. It's like a little bit longer of an interaction. And once you've done those two, like then just start having fun and start coming up with different ways of getting rejected. And literally the world, like our brains don't think about the world like, oh, how can I get rejected? We think about it like, how can we not get rejected? So when you start thinking about it like, how can I get rejected? Literally the world opens up to you in like the most insane way. So many new activities, so many different friends and strangers. It's just such a better way to live. So start with a high five, work up to rock, paper, scissors, and then let your imagination kind of run amok.
I love that. I love that. Especially your framing of the brain kind of operates of how can I not get rejected instead of how can I get rejected. It's so true. I think you really are operating differently to 99% of people once you start trying that reframe of how can I get rejected. Big advocate of rejection challenges. Jude, my second to last question for you are there any rejections that terrify you right now?
Oof.
What are you scared of?
Good question. The answer is definitely yes. I think the rejections that I struggle with the most are rejections from people that know me. I think that's like where I kind of freeze, because it is so much more, it feels like so much more of an indictment on your personality. Like if I'm going up to a stranger, they don't know me, they don't know anything about who I am, where I come from, the stories that I have. So it's hard to take a rejection personally. It's kind of just like, okay, this person's doing their thing and I'm doing my thing. And like, we just whatever. But asking a friend for a favor, asking a girl that I've known for a long time that I like her, asking like any of the things that require like that have like context of who I am, that's much scarier to me. And it's something I'm still working on, honestly. Like I don't have like a good hack yet with that, other than just like me being like, okay, like this is like I want to be able to live freely and liberated. And so I'm going to take the plunge. And sometimes it's easier than others. Sometimes it's not. So I'd say that's what I really struggle with still. Oh, not struggle with and I'm like terrified by.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I am the exact same, and I would go on a limb here and argue that most people are the same. I think that being rejected by people who we know is scarier because, as you said, an indictment on your character, but also that like survival parts, losing your community, getting ousted from your community is more of a threat from people we know than from people we don't know because they're not really in our community yet. Stranger on the streets, like, well, cool, like we are not friends anyway, so it's not like I'm losing like a core part of my social network. But I'm still working on it. It's still scary. I would just want to say for any listeners, like I have found it easier, and it's the same thing. It's the exposure, it's the reps. For sales, like big blocker. I run an agency. Big blocker in sales is like I don't want to message people that know me or know my clients or like know anyone because that could be reputationally damaging, and it's way easier to like go cold pitch a stranger. The exposure piece, like it is a lot easier now, and it's just doing it enough times, getting enough reps in to realize that like one, your reputation's not falling apart. People like don't really care about you. The ego is a liar. And two, you get some wins, you get clients, like things kind of work out. Hopefully you can
and
keep
people
doing that.
want to help you. People want to say yes. People, especially your friends, they want to help you. So it's like, yeah, but it's scary.
It's scary. It is scary.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and being so candid. I think that you probably inspired a lot of people to start taking some rejection moves, building their rejection resilience muscle. For listeners who want to connect with you, learn more about your work, what's next for you? We don't know what's next, I guess, because you have the
We don't know what's next.
Where can they find you as well?
Yeah, find me on Instagram at Jude Sack, JUDESACK. You can follow me on TikTok. You can email me at judesack@gmail.com. I don't know. But Instagram is probably the best way to connect with me. Yeah, I don't know what's next. I'm very excited. I'm just going to keep pursuing my dreams, keep spreading joy to people, hopefully, and keep getting rejected. It's part of life, and it's awesome.
Please keep getting rejected. We need more examples, and I can't wait to see where it's going to lead, because I do think, like, I guess just a kind of closing point is my whole philosophy here is this is increasing the surface area for luck. I think there's so much that's unpredictable, like so much is uncontrollable, rather. You can't control whether or not someone's going to hire you or what they're going to do. But the more we put ourselves out there for rejection, the more surface area there is for cool things to happen.
100%. I totally agree.
Thank you so much, Jude, for being here. Everyone,
Thank you.
go check him out on Instagram. This was My Rejection Story, hosted by me, Alice Draper.